Yesterday, Sheriff David Clarke announced his resignation from heading the Milwaukee County jails. And a lot of people were speculating it's because he had maybe found a position in the White House. Now, of course, he had said before, oh, I would love to join the Trump cabinet. Go ahead and appoint me. In fact, earlier, a few months ago, we talked about how he could possibly join the Department of Homeland Security. He didn't get that position for certain reasons. The fact that he couldn't get confirmed by the Senate. So they were trying to find him a different position, and it appears that they might have found one. So according to two sources familiar with the matter, Clarke is now expected to take a job in the Trump administration. What job that is, unfortunately, we do not know. However, Politico reports that it's unclear what job Clarke will take in the administration, but one of the sources did say that he was expected to join the White House, though he will not be offered a Senate-confirmed role, because his nomination would face opposition from lawmakers on both sides of the aisle. Now, White House spokeswoman Lindsay Walters said on that, we have no announcement at this time, but in a text message, Clarke had said, we will talk about my future plans next week. So here's that announcement incoming. Here we go. Now, this guy may be one of the worst possible picks for the White House. And if you're asking me personally, I think Clarke should rightly be in prison. And I don't say that lightly. Now, why do I say that? Well, this guy has one of the worst records when it comes to managing a prison. Okay, again, he managed the Milwaukee prisons, and it turns out that under his watch, 4 people, including a newborn baby, have died in the Milwaukee jail in a very short period of time. Now, one man, a 38-year-old with mental health issues, this man's named Terrell Thomas, died of dehydration. How do you die of dehydration inside of a jail? Well, it turns out they punished him by shutting off his water. So they shut off his water, and they didn't check him for days. And then he died. And look, not only do people die in his jail, they do so because it's properly or improperly staffed. Again, that woman who died, it's because she couldn't get help. Or the baby who died, she could not get help for like any sort of medical help for that child. So, yeah, they don't have medical people on staff. So, looking at the way he runs the jail, you can come to a couple conclusions. One is that he's either dangerously incompetent or he doesn't care. Neither quality is desirable for somebody in a White House position. It doesn't matter. He could be dog catcher or the person who cleans up, poop on the sidewalk. Dangerously unqualified for anything, for managing anything. Now, not only that, that's not the only thing that's problematic about Sheriff Clarke. It's also the things that he says, his rhetoric. Now, he said back in 2016 that he believes Black Lives Matter and ISIS are now teaming up to come destroy America. Really? What? No, okay, so one group is a horrific terrorist organization, burns people alive in acid, and the other one is like, hey, can you not shoot us? Totally the same, though, right? Those two are teaming up to destroy America. Sure. This guy's Looney Tunes. And again, he's super dangerous. In fact, if you give him any amount of power, it's very likely to abuse it. Now, and look, it's not me saying that, it's him saying that. As the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel noted last year, when Clarke was under consideration for DHS secretary, he basically said that he wants to bring the war on terror to the home front. He said that the U.S. needs a major overhaul of its homeland security program, and of course, that includes taking away the right of habeas corpus. He said authorities, he writes, should treat American citizens suspected of being terrorists as enemy combatants, who could be questioned without an attorney, arrested by authorities, and held indefinitely. So, goodbye civil rights. Goodbye habeas corpus. hey, I thought you cared about the Constitution. Apparently you don't seem to give a shit. And look, who's suspected, right, of being a terrorist? They call Black Lives Matter terrorists. They're calling Antifa terrorists, okay? They're calling all these different groups. They're calling left-wing protesters, people who are protesting against building giant pipelines to their land, people at Standing Rock. That's who they call terrorists. So all those people, Sheriff David Clarke thinks should be thrown in Guantanamo Bay. That's who this guy is. And speaking of Guantanamo, right? He had also said that he would throw up to 1 million people into Guantanamo Bay. He said, we have no idea how many people out there have pledged allegiance or are supporting ISIS. Again, he thinks Black Lives Matter is supporting ISIS. That's why it's important. Giving aid and comfort, but I would suggest hundreds of thousands. I would suggest maybe 1 million. Clarke also wrote an opinion piece that was headlined, "This is war, and Black Lives Matter is the enemy. We have several forces, internal and external, attacking our rule of law. ISIS, Black Lives Matter, Occupy Wall Street, just the most recent iterations of the elements who brand themselves as unique but seem to seek the same revolutionary aim, to take down the West, their philosophy of equality before the law, and replace it with their authority, their rules, their hate." Holy shit, is that projection? This is the kind of dangerous lunatic that is now being given a spot at the White House. Now, look, we don't know where he's going to end up. But as I said before, any place with even a modicum of power, he does not belong in. Okay? Really, he shouldn't even be considered. This guy shouldn't be walking free. Okay? You should be facing up to the responsibilities of the deaths of those people, again, including a newborn baby and a mentally ill man, that happened in his jails. People in America are dying in prison of dehydration. And this guy was a guy who watched over those jails. You know what? The problem starts at the top. This was the guy at the top. And yet, no one's charged. No one's looked into it. Nothing. He should not be put in charge of anything. Okay. Unfortunately, we'll see where Trump decides to put him. Again, this is an absolute disaster, no matter where he ends up. Hey everybody, thanks for watching this video. If you want to see more like this, please hit the subscribe button below. And if you want to support truly independent progressive media, please consider becoming a patron at patreon.com/TYTNation.